What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Punk Rock Radar. Today is episode number 9. We think of the Fat Records Best Album Bracket. If it's your first time here, I would recommend watching the other 8 episodes first. But what we're going to do is vote on these matchups here that were randomly generated. This is part 1 of 2. 16 total albums will be discussed in the episode. And in order to move on to the next round, 2 of the 3 of us have to vote for the record. And I'm joined, as always, by Hudson Valley hardcore legend, Mr. Lewis, and from DyingScene.com, Dylan, a.k.a. Screeching Bottle Rocket. So, guys, it is Saturday morning here, very rainy up by me. Had to drive to get my pink macchiato coffee, which is very good, by the way. But let's get into this. Our first matchup of the day is going to be Useless ID, the Lost Broken Bones, against everyone's favorite NoFX album, Double Album. So, Lewis, I'll give this one to you first. I know you love both of these records. I want you to go first. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. I was going to say this is a John pick right here because this is like a band that you've been mentioning a lot versus you're like one of your favorite bands. So I want to hear your take first. Fair enough. All right. So Useless ID, when the State is Burning comes up, if it doesn't move on, it's going to be a save. I don't think this one's quite as good as that one, but it's still a decent album, and Double Album is better, I think, than Single Album. There's a couple good songs on here, but it's by no means one of my favorite NoFX records. So I'm going to give it to the underdog here. I'm going to go Useless ID to move on here. So now that that's out of the way, Lewis, let's hear your pick.
Well, yeah, I don't want to upset everybody because that's exactly what I was going to say too. This Useless ID record's okay. I really don't like Double Record at all. I don't like single record either, just single album, whatever they're called. I saw some review where they were saying double album was like one of the best NoFX records in years, and I mean, no, not at all. Yeah, well, I guess, but I think it's not as good as First Ditch Effort. I think is better than this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give this to Useless ID. I'm curious what Dylan thinks.
Useless ID goes 3 for 3. They have a significantly better album here. Spotify is gaslighting me. It said it's from 2015, but I think that's when Fat reissued it, maybe. But yeah, way better album, way better production value, way better songs. Useless ID.
All right. Next matchup here, we've got a bracket juggernaut Snuff going against the Loved Ones. Keep Your Heart. The Snuff album is potatoes and melons, wholesale prices straight from the lockup. This, I may have a Snuff surprise for this episode, but it's not this one. This Loved Ones album is awesome. Lewis featured it in Off the Radar. So I have a good idea what's going to happen here. But Dylan, do you have any surprises for us? I know you love these Snuff album titles. So was the album title enough for it to surge past the Loved Ones record?
Absolutely not. Loved Ones are moving on. This is my second favorite. I love both the full-length Loved Ones albums, but this one's I like a little less than the Bridge. But yeah, this is still full of bangers. Loved Ones. Sounds like World War III is going on outside my window, but I think it's the garbage truck.
Just Florida, dude. It's fine.
All right, Lewis, I know you love Keep Your Heart. It's moving on, but what do you have to say about it?
I mean, yeah, it's not even a contest here. This is like one of my favorite records of all time. So I love this one. I just got it on vinyl finally for Christmas. So it is getting an enthusiastic thumbs up. It's going to go pretty far, I think, as long as these matchups stay favorable. We can't stay innocent if we just run it out.
I agree. All right. So third matchup here, we got another Snuff record. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce this one. And then we got Me First, Are We Not Men, Are We Divas? This is the one I may have a surprise here, because this is, I don't want to say my least favorite Gimme's album, but it's one that I probably listened to the least. And I saw in the Discord, by the way, I'm going to bring them up for the first time. The Discord had this Snuff album had the second most votes of any album to move on to the next round. So instead of doing what I normally do, which is like I'll pop on a few songs, I went to YouTube, because this album is not on Spotify. I gave this Snuff album a full listen, and it's actually pretty good. Like I don't know if the keyboards are as like prevalent as they are in the other Snuff albums, but this is like if Kansas was a punk rock band. There's this one song, I can't remember what it was. I just texted Ergoth about it. What is it? It's something Northern. I don't know. I'll put it Nick Northern. That song is an absolute banger. So for the first time, I believe I am gonna vote for Snuff. And Dylan, did you listen to this Snuff album, or are you too big of a Me First fan to even consider moving it on?
I'm listening to it now, and it sounds better than the Me First album. I don't really like this Me First thing, Gimme's album that much, so Snuff is finally off the schneid, and they get their first win of the bracket.
All right, Lewis.
And I'm sure everyone's gonna complain and be like, "Oh, this is the worst Snuff album. I can't believe you guys voted for that one."
I think, honestly, of all the ones so far, I think it's got the most potential. But Lewis, what do you think?
I mean, I didn't listen to this one. I couldn't find it, and I didn't really look that hard. So I would have voted Gimme's, but I was hoping you guys would settle this up for me. So I'm fine with it. Let's call it Snuff three ways. I think I'll trust your guys' judgment, because I don't really like this Gimme's record either. So
nice. All right, there we go, guys. Snuff is moving on. Now we just need a tilt to complete the upsets. But up next, I don't see an upset coming here, but we've got Strung out, Exile and Oblivion against Joey Cape's Stitch Puppy. Lewis, what do you think?
Exile and Oblivion. It's a great record. I think this one we ranked pretty high, both of us, I think, when we went through the tier list. I mean, this is a Strung out album that I enjoy. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one the big old thumbs up. I assume, Dylan, that's the way you're gonna go as well.
You assumed correctly. We're gonna go with the emo anime girl album cover. Strung out.
All right, so we're gonna break this down to two, and then we're gonna do the second half. So, guys, do we like this Snuff album enough that 2/3 of us just started listening to this week, and 1/3 has never heard, to put it over the Useless ID album? What do we think?
It'd be disingenuous for me to pick Snuff, so my vote is for Useless ID. I've listened to this record, I enjoy it enough. So,
what do you think, Dylan?
I'm gonna be a metagamer here. What did our friends in the Discord server pick? They can have my vote.
It's overwhelmingly Snuff. That's what I'm saying.
Motherfucker.
80% of people had Snuff. I don't know if it's a joke or what at this point, but 80% of the people had Snuff.
I feel like it's got to be a troll. Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser, so let's go ahead and put in the vote for Snuff.
All right, I'm good with it. Let's move Snuff along. It'll give Lewis a chance to check it out for round two. All right, now we've got The Loved Ones, Keep Your Heart, and Strung Out, Exile and Oblivion, a much better matchup. Let's hear it. Lewis, I think you have the most I don't want to say obvious, but I think I can understand where you're going the most. So why don't you tell us what you're voting for and why?
Well, I like the Strung Out album, don't get me wrong, but I mean, the Loved Ones record, I mean, I often talk about this one as being in like my top, 20 to 30 records of all time. Like, I really, really love this record. Like, I can't get enough of it. I listen to it a couple times a year still, like since it came out. So it is going to be my overwhelming vote is going for the Loved Ones Keep Your Heart on this one.
All right, Dylan, what do you think?
It's really tough. I mean, I would say this Strung Out album's probably in the bottom half of my Strung Out tier list. Probably, I can't remember. Yeah, we'll go with the Loved Ones. I mean, the first 3 songs alone are enough to put it over the top, I feel like.
All right, just to let you guys know, my vote was also going to be the Loved Ones.
Nice.
I
East Coast bias.
I like the Strung Out record, but I mean this Loved Ones record just has so many like classic songs, and of the Strung Out album, there's like maybe 2 or 3 classic Strung Outs, but this whole Loved Ones album is awesome. Even like when I go back and listen to it now, I'll pick up on a new song that like wasn't one of my favorites and it becomes that. So moving on here, we have Snuff. Just because it won, I'm going to give this a shot. Dema Musa Babank. Dema Musa Babank. That's
close enough.
Right? We'll go there. And the Loved Ones Keep Your Heart. So guys, we're going to take a brief break here, shuffle the board, and get our next 8 albums up. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, so second bracket is loaded. Guys, I do want to briefly say, I just noticed that we may have upset the Discord in the last one. Whatever. I think we've also
lost Dylan.
Yeah, he's gone. Well, while Dylan is gone, almost 70% of people at Exile and Oblivion going over Keep Your Heart. So just want to say that there's a lot of love for Exile and not a lot of love for Keep Your Heart. So with that said, maybe Exile will be saved by the Discord. We're working on the mechanics of how this save is going to work. Probably should have done most of this before we started the bracket, but we'll get there. One way or the other, we will get there. But let's get into this first matchup here. Everyone's favorite, the real McKenzies, going against American Steel, Dear Friends, and Gentle Hearts. 2 albums I was not very familiar with. And I gave both of them a listen this past week, and then I went back to the American Steel record today. I was feeling like the real McKenzies are kind of like in the same ballpark as Snuff, where we're just kind of like not listening and just say, no, they're not going to move on. I didn't hate this record, but I thought the American Steel record was better just on my first real listens of them. So I am going to vote for American Steel. That was also the Discord's vote by like, I think it was maybe 100%. So for me, American Steel. Lewis, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I also tend to kind of gloss over these real McKenzies, but I've listened to this American Steel record before, and it's okay. I mean, it's like I don't feel good about really any choice here, but let's go with American Steel.
All right. Dylan, any strong thoughts on either one of these?
I like the American Steel album a lot. I have it on compact disc, but it seems to have walked away. So that's what I was looking for, my American Steel Dear Friends and Gentle Hearts CD. Yeah, great album, great band. This is my unpopular opinion. This is my favorite American Steel album. Emergency House Party especially is a badass song.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like when I pulled it up, I think they had like 7,000 or 8,000 monthly listeners, I was surprised. I don't know if I've ever listened to this album before. So they're going to move on. And based on Dylan's love for this, maybe they move on all the way, but we'll have to see. Up next, we've got Chris Cresswell of the Flatliners, his shot at 1 week record. I think these 1 week records are like 0 for 4 at this point. Going against bracket Novelty Forever. You guys know where I'm going here, but Dylan, what do you think?
Man, this is the first bracket album I got. I don't remember how I came into possession of it, but I was extremely unimpressed by it. That being said, I like it more than the solo album here, so bracket.
Nice. All right, so bracket's gonna move on for now. Lewis, what do you think? Any thoughts on either of these?
No, not strong. I have maybe a stupid question. Like, and this is just from going to concerts. Does bracket tour nationally? Like, can you think, John, of ever seeing bracket tour around us one time? I was like trying to figure it out.
They really just release records. I don't know the last time they played.
Yeah.
I feel like we had to have seen them once. Like, it would just be like impossible for like a fat tour to have rolled around and like, I don't know. I can't off the top of my head. I don't remember ever seeing them, but I just feel like we must have.
They have 1 million records. I'm trying to do the math. I'm like, how have I not seen them at least one of these club shows? But nothing doing. But yeah, I'm fine with the bracket choice here. It's okay.
All right.
I'm looking at Setlist FM, and the last time they played was in February of 2020, before the incident, in San Francisco. And then before that was in 2015 at the same venue, the Parkside in San Francisco.
What about the early 2000s?
They have a, if this is to be believed, they have a touring gap from 99 through 2014.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And they have not played outside the state of California in the last 27 years, except for Spain in 2014.
All right. Well, maybe we didn't see them then, but yeah, Novelty Forever as Last Day Sunday and what is three Gardens, I think. So it's a great record. I'm gonna move it on. Leave a sour taste in my mouth. Up next, we've got some like sleeper bands here with pretty good albums. We've got the Cobra Skulls, Agitations, and Smoker Fire, Above the City. Lewis, what are your thoughts on these two records?
I actually like both these records.
Yeah.
This was actually, I think, the toughest choice on this set for me. The Cobra Skulls I was less familiar with, but I gave it a pretty good listen actually this morning while I was kind of getting my day together. But I think I'm going to go Smoker Fire still. I just like them better as a band. The Cobra Skulls is okay. I mean, it would definitely not be an album that I would go back to, although I'd really like, with the sleeper thing, Smoker Fire is a really good band. Just like low key and enjoy pretty much every album they put out. So they're getting my vote this time.
All right, Dylan, what do you think? Can we finally advance Smoker Fire?
I can't do it. I love this Cobra Skulls album. Yeah, very underrated band. I think they're working on a new album. This is their best, though, in my opinion. Just a really well-rounded album with a lot of great songs. 6 Degrees, The Mess, The Mockery. I think the only song that's really not great on here would probably be On and On. That's a little weak. But yeah, fantastic album. Everyone should listen to Cobra Skulls.
Man, I was mulling this one over this morning still. I listened to both of these in full between yesterday and today. And I think I like the Smoker Fire album better. It's just more my style, but the Cobra Skulls is definitely good. But yeah, I'm going to go Above the City, which is also the Discord vote by a wide margin. I think it was, let's see. Well, 60%. 60% had Smoker Fire. So we'll go with the Discord. It's pretty close for me. Wake up and grab your things. You and I are living Los Angeles. But we'll move it on. So here we go, guys. The main event is gonna be Propagandhi, Let's Talk More Rock against Mad Caddies, Punk Rock Steady. Both of these guys have albums coming out this year. This is It's tough, but well, I'll let Dylan go first, actually, because I'm almost certain I know where Lewis is going. But Dylan is a bit of a wild card given his lack of love for Propagandhi.
Well, the Mad Caddies album has a cover from the Propagandhi album on it, which is an interesting conundrum. That being said, we'll go with Propagandhi on this one. I do want to share a very unpopular opinion that is going to piss a lot of people off. Who's the bassist name? John, whatever the
Samson.
fuck. John K. Samson, dude, sounds like some fucking English poet from the 1800s name. I hate this guy's voice, man, and I hate Anchorless.
Yes, I agree
His
with
voice
you.
is so like mousy. I don't get it. I get that he's got like a really successful solo career and stuff. I can't stand the guy's voice.
Dylan, I
don't know if
100%
it's an
agree with
unpopular
you.
opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people are fine with the direction that Propagandhi took. And I mean, I think people, if you like Johnny, you can go like the Weaker Thens, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just give my vote here. This was not a hard decision for me, but I'm sad that Punk Rock Steady got up in this match because I love this record. I think this is one of my favorite cover albums of all time.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, it's still a cover record. Let's Talk More Rock is one of my favorite records of all time, point blank, period. Very important record for me, too, and like a lot of my musical taste when I was younger. So this is absolutely going to advance for me. This would have been one I would have rioted on if you guys didn't get this one through. I would have been really pissed off. So I'm happy it's advancing. But John, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I was heavily leaning Propagandhi. Like you said, at the end of the day, the Caddies album is a cover album. But I mean, for me, the difference between like this as a cover album and most, like, this is a completely different spin on all these songs. So it's like almost like hearing a different song. But the She cover is amazing. It's probably my favorite one of all of them on there. But I mean, the Propagandhi album, I do want to say that way back, maybe in like what, Lewis, 2003, 2004, we used to cover Less Talk More Rock, which is like the weirdest Propagandhi song to cover, given the style of the music that we were playing. But yeah, I mean, it's Less Talk More Rock all day long. Let's move it on. So let's get to our two records here. My votes would be, as much as it pains me, I would go Smoke or Fire, Propagandhi. Lewis, what do you think?
Yeah, it's the same for me.
All right, and Dylan?
I gotta back my boys American Steel, but I mean, it's a losing fight anyway, so yeah, Propagandhi for sure over the bracket album.
All right, so Smoke or Fire and Propagandhi are gonna move on to the next round. Guys, we this one was pretty quick. We're at 22, 23 minutes. Do we want to get episodes 11 and 12 loaded up, or should we just cut it short and move on to what we're doing next, which is our most anticipated records of 2024? What do you guys think?
Let's see what we gotta listen to the next week and a half, whatever.
Let's give the people something to look forward to.
All right, so the bracket is loaded. We're on this site. It's cropped out, but I promise you they're there. So let's find out our matchups. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, Dylan, can you see it? You want to do us the honors?
I can. All right, first up, High Standard Angry Fist versus those fucking guys. Next up, if you can't see it, Sick of It All, Call to Arms. Fantastic album. Tony Sly, 12-song program versus another Useless ID record, State is Burning, John's favorite Useless ID album.
That's a tough
Western Addiction, Cognicide versus Bad Cop, Not Sorry. Swingin' Utters, Dead Flowers, Bottles, Bluegrass, and Bones versus the Dickies. All This and Puppet Suit. I actually forgot there's a Dickies album on Fat. Direct Hit, Wasted Mind versus Dillinger 4, Civil War. And what else? Get Dead. Honesty Lives Elsewhere versus High Standard Growing Up. Is that the first 8? I lost track of how many that was.
6. You got 2 more.
Okay, 2 more. Me First, Have a Ball. Very good album. Versus Get Dead, Dancing with the Curse.
That's a good one.
Lots of Get Dead. And then Pears, Green Star versus Good Riddance, Forgotten Country. So that's episode whatever that is, 10, 11. Okay, that's episode 11. And then episode 12, matchup number 1, Nightbirds, Mutiny at Muscle Beach versus, Zero Down with a Lifetime to Pay. I thought we already did that, but no, we did not. We just been talking about it a lot. Matchup 2, Banner Pilot, Collapser versus Screw 32, Under the Influence. Matchup 3, Swingin' Utters, Streets of San Fran versus The Last Gang, Keep Them Counting, another John Choice pick. Matchup number 4, Real McKenzies, 10,000 Shots versus Mad Caddies, Duck and Cover. Matchup 5, Joey Cape, Tony Sly split versus another Utters album, Peace and Love. Less Than Jake.
Borders.
Borders and Boundaries versus another Joey Cape split with John Snodgrass. Propagandhi back in the mix. Potemkin City Limits versus Mad Caddies, Keep It Going. And Against Me, The Eternal Cowboy versus Randy. So yeah, there's quite a few good ones in those 2 episodes, I would say. I think Lewis really likes that Caddies album too.
I do, but Potemkin's Potemkin. I think my played my hand, but it might be harder if it was what's it called? Just one more. Would be closer.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was thinking it was too. Oh yeah. Okay. We haven't done.
Keep It Going's okay. Yet. Keep It Going's okay.
Okay. All right. So that is episodes 11 and 12, and after that, so. We have enough to do 13, 14, and 15. Episode 16, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be like comps, live albums, EPs, whatever. So if there's a comp, live album, or EP that you really want us to do, make sure you join the Discord. There'll be a link down below, and post it in the YouTube section. And that's going to wrap this one up. We've got, 4 or 5 more, then we're going to move on to round 2. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys all next time.